If someone does this in a conversation, they are hiding something from you. And most people never notice it. What if I told you that the human body cannot fully lie? Your words can lie. Your face can lie. But deep in your behavior, the truth always leaks out. Today we're breaking down 5 psychological signs that someone is hiding something, backed by real behavioral science. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at people the same way again. Let's get into it. Sign number 1: they answer your question with another question. You ask someone something simple. Hey, did you go out last night? And instead of saying yes or no, they say, why are you asking me that? Sounds familiar? This is called deflection. And psychologists consider it one of the clearest signs of someone who is hiding information. Here's why it happens. When the human brain feels threatened, when it knows the truth is dangerous, it goes into protection mode. And one of the fastest ways to protect yourself in a conversation is to redirect the attention. Turn the spotlight away from yourself and shine it back on the person asking. Think about it. An innocent person who has nothing to hide usually just answers. They don't need to buy time. They don't need to question your motives. But someone with something to hide? They need a few extra seconds. They need to figure out how much you already know before they speak. Have you ever noticed this in someone you trusted? But here's the scary part. Most people who do this don't even realize they're doing it. It's a deeply automatic, subconscious defense mechanism. Their brain is protecting them before their mind has even made a decision. So the next time someone answers your question with a question, pay attention. Their brain just told you something their mouth refused to say. Sign number 2: they give you too much detail. Or way too little. This one is fascinating, and most people get it completely wrong. Most people think liars are quiet, vague, short with their words. Sometimes that's true. But here's what behavioral psychologists have found. Some liars talk too much. When someone is hiding something, they often feel an internal pressure to seem credible. So they overcompensate. They add unnecessary details. They explain things you never even asked about. I was at the gym, yeah, from like 6 to 7:30, maybe closer to 7:45 actually, and then I stopped by the gas station on Miller Road, not the one on Main Street, the other one, and then I came straight home. You just asked why they were late. This is called over-explanation, and it's a classic sign of a prepared story, a story someone rehearsed in their head before they knew you were going to ask. This is where it gets interesting. On the flip side, some people go completely silent. Cold. Minimal. Where were you? Out. That's not confidence. That's containment. They've decided the less they say, the less they can be caught in. Both extremes, too much detail or too little, are signs of the same thing. The mind managing a secret. Sign number 3: their body language and their words are fighting each other. This is the one that'll change how you see every conversation. It's called nonverbal leakage, and it was studied extensively by psychologist Dr. Paul Ekman, one of the world's leading experts on deception. Here's what happens. When someone lies, their conscious mind controls the words, but their subconscious body reacts to the truth. And those two things? They don't always agree. So you'll see things like someone saying, I'm totally fine with that, while their jaw tightens and they look away. Someone saying, no, I would never do that, while their hand goes up to cover their mouth, an instinctive gesture linked to suppressing truth. Someone nodding yes, while their feet are pointing toward the door. Feet, by the way, are one of the most honest parts of the human body. We're trained to control our face. We forget about our feet. Most people ignore this. We're taught to listen to words. We're trained to focus on faces. But the body, the shoulders, the hands, the posture, the micro-expressions that flash for less than a second, that's where the truth lives. Think about someone in your life right now. Someone whose words always sound right, but something else always felt off. You weren't crazy. You were reading the leakage. You just didn't have a name for it. Sign number 4: they suddenly become very helpful. This one is dark, and most people never see it coming. When someone has done something wrong, or is hiding something significant, they sometimes experience what psychologists call guilt compensation. It works like this. The guilt they feel creates a kind of internal debt. And to balance that debt, subconsciously, they start being nicer, more generous, more available, more agreeable. Your distant partner suddenly brings you flowers. The friend who's been avoiding you suddenly texts first. The coworker who's been lying to your face suddenly offers to help you with your project. And you think, wow, things are getting better. But here's the scary part. That sudden warmth isn't always about love. Sometimes it's about guilt management. It's the mind trying to balance the emotional scale, to feel less bad about what's being hidden. This doesn't mean every kind gesture is suspicious. Of course not. But if someone's behavior changes suddenly and dramatically, without explanation, your instincts are worth listening to. Real change is gradual. Guilt is sudden. Sign number 5, they react strangely when you get close to the truth. This is the most powerful sign on this list. And it's subtle. So stay with me. When you're in a conversation with someone who is hiding something, and you accidentally get close to the real topic, their behavior will shift. Almost immediately. Some people get defensive out of nowhere. You weren't even accusing them. But suddenly they're angry, they're dismissive, they're telling you that you're paranoid or always doing this. Psychologists call this reaction formation, where the intensity of someone's denial is actually proportional to how true something is. The louder the "I would never." Sometimes, the bigger the secret. Other people go the opposite direction. They get very, very calm. Almost unnaturally calm. Their voice flattens. Their energy drops. Because their brain has switched into damage control mode, calculating, careful, choosing every word. And then there are those who change the subject so smoothly you don't even notice it happened. You were talking about one thing, and suddenly you're talking about something else entirely. And somehow you let it go. That's not an accident. That is a person who has practiced protecting their secret. Maybe not consciously, but practiced nonetheless. Because here's the truth about human beings, we are all, on some level, hiding something. A feeling. A past. A version of ourselves we're not ready to share. But when the hiding becomes deception, when it starts to affect the people around them, that's when these signs start to appear. And now you know what to look for. The human mind is one of the most complex systems on Earth. It can build walls. It can craft stories. It can smile while it bleeds. But it always leaves traces. And the moment you learn to read those traces, the way someone pauses, the way their body tightens, the way their kindness arrives a little too suddenly, you stop being fooled. You don't become paranoid. You become aware. That's the difference between someone who gets deceived and someone who doesn't. If this video made you think about someone in your life, or taught you something new about how humans really work, subscribe to MindUnlockedX. Because this is what we do here. We pull back the curtain on human behavior. We go deep. We go dark. And we help you understand the minds around you and the one inside you. Hit that subscribe button. Your mind is worth unlocking.